Hey guys, Wes Stanfield with All in the Garden Landscaping. I'm going to walk you through doing a spring startup on an irrigation system. So this one's pretty easy. It's on city water instead of on lake water. So we come in here, turn on the water valve. We turned it off last fall when we winterized. And so now we've got water going into the system. We'll go down here to the house where the controller is and turn it on. We'll run through the zones, walk around, check the heads as we go, make sure everything's turning good, no leaks, all that good stuff. And that way we can take care of this grass all summer long and make sure it stays good and healthy. Now, if we were pumping out of the lake on this system, we would have to go down to the dock and prime the pump and make sure all the power is hooked up and make sure everything's correct on that end. But this one here is just on the city water, so we don't have to do all of that. So I'm walking up to the controller here right now. We'll double check here. I'm going to turn it to start times. It starts at 5 a.m. and 12 minutes on the zones, water days. He actually has them all off, so I'm going to turn on Monday. I'm going to leave Tuesday off, Wednesday on, Thursday off, Friday on, and we'll leave Sunday on. So now I'm going to turn it back to auto and hold this button in for manual start. And we'll give it just a minute here and we should start seeing some water popping up out of the ground. Takes it just a minute for the system to pressurize and get water to all the valves, and then through the valve and into the lateral line before it gets to the heads. And this zone 1 is right through here. I'm not really sure why it's not come up yet. There's another shut-off valve up here. Let's make sure it's not. Oh, nope, there we go. So we've got water spraying out of these heads. Didn't have a lot of space to work with here whenever we installed it, so had to use these spray heads instead of rotors in this section. But you can see we've got a nice stream coming out there. It's doing just exactly what it's supposed to do. This one here, you can see it's hitting the driveway a little bit. So they can get a little bit out of adjustment. And all you gotta do is get in here and twist it. A little bit of water right here. And a little bit here as well. So I'll have to lay you down a second. There we go. It's got those adjusted, so we've got good pressure on the whole thing. So I'm going to go back down to the controller and I'm going to skip us over to zone 2, which will be this area that we're walking across right now. And so it's really important when you do your spring startup to go through and check everything. Make sure that if you do find a broken head or a leak or something, that way you can get it fixed before it starts to create a problem. But we're back down here. I'm going to skip forward 1 to zone 2. And here it comes. And now these are rotor heads on this zone, so they feel a little different. Takes just a minute for all that air to get out of the lines. And there it comes. You can see they're all spraying all the way up the rest of the driveway. And now what we do, we just stand here and watch each head on this zone, make sure they're turning the way they should. And if any of them are bad, we'll get them swapped out. That way everything runs good for the summer. And so once this zone is done, we'll go through and there's one more zone up here on the hill above where we just were. And then the rest of the zones are over on this side, up through the lawn and everything. But we'll go through and check them all out. I'm not going to keep you on here for all of it, but it's more of the same. And it looks like everything's operating correctly here. So I'm going to walk back over and get us moved to zone 3. All right, guys, I'm back here. I've got the last zone running. And you can see everything's looking good on it. And so now the next step, I go back over to the clock and turn it off so that it stops this water cycle. And we'll then turn it back to auto so that it kicks on when it's supposed to. And this water spilling out right here, that's normal. That's bleed back out of the line where it's holding a little bit of pressure. It'll bleed that off until it eases some. But anyway, we're going to turn this off. Give it just a minute and make sure that it turns off. And then we're going back to auto. And the last step on this process is to walk back up here to the backflow preventer. Because like I said earlier, this is on a city system, so you have to have a backflow preventer to make sure that you don't leach any water out of your ground back into the public water system. And it's underneath that artificial stone in the middle of that bed. So we're going to get up here and check it out and make sure it's not dripping or anything like that. And so I cut out while I was doing this, but we have this whole section of yard all covered as well with irrigation. And right here is the fake rock. Lift it up. And everything looks good on it. So whether you've got an irrigation system that's pulling out of city water with a backflow preventer and all that good stuff, you check that stuff out. It's easy. If you've got a system that pulls out of the lake, which most properties here on the lake do pull from the lake, it gives you better water for your grass, no chlorine and such in it. But if you're pulling out of there, you've got to do things to check your pump, and it's a little more detailed, and I'll try to put together a video for you on that as well. All right, y'all have a great day. Thanks.